Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Yeah, your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Captain John Regan's with us. Welcome, Captain John Regan.
Good morning, Vincent.
Hey, it's Monday. Again. Boy, there's been like 4 Mondays in the last 2 weeks, haven't there?
Yeah, they seem to be coming a lot more often lately.
Yeah. You know, John, I was reading one of your links about spy technology, and are we going to be talking about that today? And facial recognition?
I'm going to get to as much as I can.
Okay, because I've got a story I'd like to share whenever we do that. Kind of an interesting story back from the 1980s about facial recognition. You know, way back then in the very early days when it was done manually. Okay, looks like the grass is growing. They've turned on the sun for another day or 2 or 3. Looks like it's going to be hay here at the farm. So, maybe we'll get it baled. Half of it's cut already. Looks like we're going to rake and bale today, and I'm looking forward to getting that done. That's something that farmers are concerned about. You know, you've got a whole winter's worth of hay that needs to be cut, and if it doesn't get done right, there goes the entire year's cattle sales. You know, because you got to sell them early. It's terrible, but it looks like it's going to work. It looks like it's going to work. They stopped messing around with the chemtrails for just a couple of days, and it's wonderful. They ought to do it all the time. They ought to stop it all the time and return us back to the 1950s and 1960s before they manipulated the weather so much. So, John, where would you like to start?
Well, for those of you following along at home at the news tab on the financialstateoftheunion.com, you can start looking at under Spy Tech, making Borg humans from scratch, and then I'm going to go down to the control section and get those items. And while you're doing that, you know, I look at a lot of news items that never make it, and I was noticing this one item yesterday where the owner of Hostess Brands is buying the Playboy Mansion, and I got to thinking about it, and gee, I guess he heard that there were a lot of ho-hos there, and he wanted to get them all.
I remember Hostess Twinkies, and those aren't those the those I don't know what you'd call them, snacks, and you could leave them out for a couple of years, and they still look the way they looked when you left them out, you know, years ago, right? Even mold doesn't like them. Hostess Twinkies.
Yeah, you know, if you want food, well, stuff that looks like food for survival, those products will work. Won't do anything for your health, but they do provide calories.
Yeah, and sugar. Okay, I'm at the financialstateoftheunion.com at the news tab.
And like I say, we're looking at the link, making Borg humans from scratch. Mm-hmm. And again, you know, I look at this, if this is what they're saying publicly, when you get into the black ops programs, you know, there's some chance they're already doing this. But they're saying that within 10 years that they can make humans from scratch, creating the entire 6 billion character genome. And again, when you start working with numbers that large, our minds really can't wrap around it. But the way nature works, of course, the way the government works is something else, but the way nature works, you have a male and a female, and half of the material comes from the man, half the material comes from the woman, and that's where you get babies from. Well, just imagine if you could bypass that process and just create what you want. And the combinations start ramping up very quickly. In nature, we have 2 different base pairs, and the way they're coded, AT is one pair, CG is the other pair, and it does matter which one you're reading. So if you're going along one side of the DNA double helix, when you see an A, the other side's going to be a T. If it's flipped around and there's a T, the other side's going to be the A. So with these 2 base pairs, you have 4 possibilities for every step in the chain. So these numbers start expanding rather quickly. So with 1 base pair, your options, 1 of 4. When you get 2 base pairs, now you got 4 options for the first pair, 4 options for the second, gives 16, and it just ramps up. 64, 256, 1,024, then you get over 4,000, 16,000, 65,000, more than 250,000. And by the time you get to the 10th base pair in this chain that you're creating, you already have more than 1 million combinations. Now, not necessarily all of those are viable, and especially those of us at our level, we don't know the programming language of genetics. But you can see where there's more combinations available there than what you would normally have available to you just selecting from nature. Now, another article we covered, it might be a year or 2 ago now, is science has created a synthetic base pair. So this base pair does not exist in nature. And if they put that into the program, it changes things quite a bit. And I'm kind of wondering if this is what ends up being referred to as the 3rd strand, which would be a misnomer. The helix has the 2 strands, the front and the back side. To have a 3rd strand, it would kind of be more like a triangle. And I'm just wondering if it's kind of like when we look back when the ancient Greeks talked about matter being made up of earth, air, fire, and water. And obviously we know that that's not the case. Matter is made up of protons, neutrons, and electrons. However, when we look at it from the chemistry physics point of view, there are 4 states of matter. You have solid, liquid, gas, and plasma, and those are represented by earth, air, fire, and water. So perhaps the 3-strand DNA isn't really 3 strands, it's 3 different base pairs. Now, if you add that additional synthetic base pair and go down the same math, 1 base pair, you have 6 options. That second base pair, instead of 16, you have 36. And it works up to where it goes to almost 1.5 million by the 8th base pair. And when you get to that 10th base pair, out of 6 billion, instead of the million that we have possible from nature, we end up with over 60 million available, adding that synthetic base pair in there. So I can't even begin to imagine what kind of creatures you could create with that type of additional options available, hijacking the DNA that our Creator gave us. But unless we have that wonderful grid down situation, looks like we'll find out in a very short period of time. Vincent?
Well, as you're talking about this, I was thinking about when the owners of basketball teams want to have the best team, they choose the best players. And it seems to me, and same with football, same with baseball. Seems to me that we can extrapolate what you're saying to we can win any game we want by just building a better team in the lab, right?
Yeah, imagine the athletes and the soldiers and all the different casts that you can create with this type of genetics from scratch.
Sounds very, very frightening to me, and it's certainly something that I wouldn't want the government to get involved in. However, I'm sure they are at this point, and have been funding these projects, these secret projects. I met one of the leaders of the Human Genome Project. I was talking to her, and I was going to see if we could get her on the air, and she agreed to it. But the company that she worked for put the kibosh on that about 2 years ago. Dr. Shealy knows her very well as well, and I have a feeling that she has been on the air with him, but I think we're a little too outside the box for her company to let her on the air with us. We might ask her things that maybe shouldn't get out, but yeah, she was with the Human Genome Project.
And of course,
Dr. Claire Franco-Mono is her name. Dr. Claire Franco-Mono.
And of course, that's not all the technology. And I know we're getting ready for a break here, but next up is You've Been Marked, You Beast.
That's one I was looking forward to.
Yeah, the facial recognition will soon end your anonymity. And there are there's so many cameras out there, nearly or around 250 million, 250 million, and they're looking like to network those like you kind of saw in Person of Interest, and we'll talk about it more when we get back.
Yep, Person of Interest and others, even NCIS to a very, very low level. We'll be right back. Captain John Regan's with us. I'm Vin Finelli. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you're having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas, is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Captain John Regan's with us, and we're going to be talking about facial recognition. That's something that really bothers me, John. Just the thought of being spied upon when you go shopping, when you stop at a traffic light, as you travel down the road. All these images of us that are being captured, stored, and used for nefarious purposes is an outrage. Even, John, it bothers me when people just take their camera and just take pictures, and I just think it's an outrage. I remember when you used to ask someone, you'd say, would it be okay if I took your picture? Not anymore. Not anymore. Our government has taught us how to be impolite.
And there's so many cameras in stores nowadays. We don't even realize how many times we're captured every day. And one of these days when I get some spare time, I've got some articles clipped that cover things like facial recognition and the vein recognition in your hands as biometric identifiers. And when you see the way that the machine looks at this, of course, the veins in your hand are a natural type formation, the way they grow. But the way the computer does a facial recognition, it measures all kinds of different points, the distance between them, and it forms kind of like a mask on the face, if you ever have seen those photographs. And what that brings to mind, we talk about Revelation, the mark of the beast, and both of those identifiers to me have that natural, might say the beast-like characteristic. And I know a lot of people say that it talks about the mark being in the forehead. Well, what you need to do is drill down beyond the English word and look at the Greek that it was written in. And what it's talking about is the fore of the head as opposed to the continents. So it's talking about your face. And we are quickly going in that direction, and it's even getting to the point where they don't even need our permission anymore to do it. They've already captured our images. They've already identified us. And while facial recognition is not quite to the 100% level yet. It's at a very high level. And when using combinations of other things, it gets to that 100% level quickly. But from a practical point of view, if you look at it from their side, they don't even need the 100% because most of us have a cell phone or a modern car that's already going to identify who we are. And if you're one of those that want to go into the store and use cash to try to remain anonymous, well, it's probably not too hard to identify you just by facial recognition because they already know who everybody else is, and somebody that might look similar to you, they have them identified so they can eliminate them as the possibility and concentrate on your features in that case. So whether you like it or not, you're being tracked. And this isn't anything new. And I use the example of back, it's like 2003, 2004. Becky and I wanted to take the course they have here in Texas that's typically used for ticket dismissal. It's a safety course, and you can use that completion certificate to get a discount from most insurance carriers. So quite often we'd be the only two people in the class that weren't there trying to dismiss tickets. We were in it for the discount. And it's a little inconvenient to spend that time. Typically we go to where they have the comedy presentation and the lunch provided with it. And this time we decided to do it. There was a company that provided this course online. And in order to ensure that it's you sitting in front of the computer and taking the test, it would ask questions every so often. And they knew more about you than you knew about you. It was scary.
Yeah, and if you apply for Obamacare online, you'll find the same exact thing. They'll ask you questions and you'll answer no because you think, that can't be me. But it was 25, 30 years ago, and it was you. We'll be right back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
If you have sleep apnea and you're tired of dragging around your big, bulky home CPAP device wherever you travel, what I'm about to tell you may sound too good to be true. MiniCPAP.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. Even better, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for a full 10 days. Call us now, 1-800-940-5473. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. It's true. You can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere, anytime you want. Call minicpap.com now for your 10-day in-home trial. 1-800-940-5473. That's 1-800-940-5473.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today. Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Captain John Regan's with us, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com. If you would like to follow along, just click on the news tab. John, back to you.
Let me finish one thing on this article, and I know you have an example that you want to use as well. Mm-hmm. This article talks about a new app called Find Face. It was built by a couple of guys in Russia, 20-something people, where you can snap a picture of anybody and find out what their real name is. And this already has a 70% reliability just with what they do. And so you can imagine what the government and the corporations have in place with vast more resources than these two guys. So I really don't know how you opt out of this system. And when they start tying this in with the digital currency and, when you go shopping, besides, pre-selecting items for you, because one, it already knows what you're there for, because with the Internet of Everything, it knows what you have or don't have at home. And it'll also know what your bank balance and credit line availability is. So they're going to do their best to extract whatever they can out of you. And remember, it's several years ago that Coke did an experiment with vending machines where they charged more when it was hot. So you can you can imagine all the manipulation that's going to be seen just on the commercial side of this, on the government side of it with the control of the population. And if we can get some of the other articles, what's going on in the EU, and will eventually make it here in America, is even more disturbing. Vincent?
John, I was thinking about what you've been saying, and Mrs. Finelli and I were applying for Social Security months and months and months ago, online, where we called them up, and they said, oh, no, all you do is just go online, and you can apply it right there. So we're online, And we're asked these questions to determine if it's really us. And one of the questions was, did we have a loan in the amount of $50,000 like 2.5 decades ago? So we said no, because we didn't. But here's what we did do. And so the system locked us out, both of us. We couldn't get back in, so we had to go see him in person because obviously we lied, according to the system. Well, many years ago, back in the 90s, when we had our computer manufacturing company, we had Washington, D.C., the mayor was interested in buying computers from us for his school system, school district in Washington, D.C., and it amounted to a lot of money. And I thought, just in case, we probably ought to get a line of credit to extend our capabilities financially above the trade lines of credit that we already had. So we talked to a bank and we said, we're considering this. And they said, okay, we'll have to use your house and your farm as collateral. And we said, all right, well, let's talk about it. So what the bank did was they hired a comparable to figure out how much our farm was worth. And we never got a loan, never proceeded with it. But the bank went through the motions as if we were going to apply for this loan in the amount of $50,000. Well, so to answer the question, did we have a loan in the amount of $50,000, 2.5 decades ago? The answer, truthfully, is absolutely not. We didn't. If the question were, did you ever talk to anybody about having a loan in the amount of $50,000 2.5 decades ago, the question would be yes. So we got shut down because we answered with what the system perceived as a lie. But it wasn't a lie, it was the truth, but the system was wrong. We never got a loan, never applied for the loan. So here's the point. The point is, there's information about us that we don't even know. And the system is believed as being correct. And we're presumed as not being correct. That's one point I'd like to share. Point number 2. Back in 1993, I'd mentioned before that my class on entrepreneurship that I taught at the public school, manufacturing computers within the public school system in Virginia, was selected to represent the Department of Education at the State Fair for 11 days. So I brought my class there. Now, I mentioned that NASA was there, and I talked about the big lies. Well, also there, in the same building as we were, was the state police, the Virginia State Police. And they had this computer screen, and if they entered your name or your social security number, which was most people's driver's license at that time, a screen would come up. And they had all kinds of information about us on this page 1 of the screen. And then there was page 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. They wouldn't let us look past really screen number 1, page number 1. But what I learned was that if you were pulled over and the police entered your license plate number or your social security number or your name, they would bring up a record about you. So there was an entire file about you, what you did, whether you had committed any crimes, whether you had been arrested, all kinds of information about where you live, of course, your age, descriptive characteristics about you, visually, physically. And I sat down in front of the screen and they wouldn't let me look, past screen number 1. They said, we can't show you that. Screen 2, 3, 4. But they had a lot of information about us. And then they had another screen where they could take your picture and digitally enhance that picture and say, here's what you will look like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Would you like a mustache? We can make that happen too. We can have your hair thinning out, receding hairline, and so forth. And I asked them to do me at about 113, I believe it was, 113 years of age. And I was all shriveled up. But they had that technology back in 1993. So when you're pulled over and your license plate is run by their system, they know a lot about you. And if you think that they don't know that you have a concealed weapons permit, they do. They do right away, page number 1. So those are 2 dots I wanted to help connect. And this is ancient. This is, over 25 years ago. This is the technology they had.
And then you start combining it with policies, and that's the next link under control. EU makes truth illegal. They are, in conjunction with the social media platforms, gearing up to, based on their definition of hate speech and incitement to violence, making sure that those posts get removed from all these online sources. And of course, the biggest hate speech is by those that love sin. The message Jesus gives. If you love sin, you're not going to end up in a good place, and that is just hate speech to them. And you notice that anything the Muslims do, or you hardly ever hear of Hindus or any other religion, or even the humanism and the Darwinism. Everything they do is just fine. But if you're a Christian actually standing up for the word that's in the Bible, then you're guilty of hate speech, and that has to be quashed. And you can just imagine how much they have on you and I, because you can be sure they take all of these broadcasts and convert them to text and store them in the computer, so that if they do have some kangaroo courts in the future, that they'll have no shortage of evidence demonstrating our hate speech and antisocial behavior. Vincent?
I was thinking about the post I read this morning about how the government had finally released a list of the people, or the types of people, who were in these groups that it was watching very carefully. This would be the Internal Revenue Service. And people who were affiliated with groups that had the word T in them, as in Tea Party. Constitution, as in the United States or state constitution. And other groups that were like that. And the Internal Revenue Service was very, very interested in those kinds of people. And of course, we learned many years ago about the MIAC report, where they were interested in watching closely people who had Second Amendment bumper stickers, family-related bumper stickers, Christian-related bumper stickers, Ron Paul-related bumper stickers, and those kinds of affiliations. So, wouldn't that be hate, John? Wouldn't singling these groups out? It sounds like there's a double standard that the government is applying to us versus them.
It is, but when you know what the agenda is, it's perfectly understandable. And what constantly infuriates me is all the people claiming to be Christians that just sit on their butt and do nothing. And that's nothing new. It happened back in the 60s when they took prayer out of school. It happened again in the 70s with Roe v. Wade. It's happened more recently with homosexual marriage, and now this transgender nonsense. It's interesting. I've got a link that I don't think I made it this week or last week. Talks about how pedophilia is still considered to be a mental illness. Just wonder how long before they say, oh, that's normal too.
Sick. Absolutely sick. Captain John Regan, I'll be right back right after these few short commercial announcements. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the highest quality body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers rifle threat rated armor up to level 4 and now introducing trauma pads. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water filter for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Cancer categorizes over 100 diseases. Though we do not diagnose, treat, or cure cancer, GCN team is offering the Clemson University study where there was up to a 95% reduction in cancerous cells when exposed to a plant-derived mineral supplement. If you or a loved one are searching for answers to this horrifying disease, come to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. We'll email you a copy for free. That's 877-878-4203.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Captain John Regan's with us. John, the last time I had a job, a real job, was in the 1980s. And when I worked at the bank in the 80s, I had to dress like a banker. Even though I was a computer jockey, I still had to dress like a banker. And I would go to a men's store and buy suits there. And there was a store in Philadelphia that specialized in men's suits. And when you went in the very first time, you would be assigned a person who was your guy. This was the guy from then on would help you with your clothing and what to buy and why and how it would look and accessories and so forth. So the first time I went in there, you drive up to the front, and doorman opens the door for you. You get out, and then your car disappears. It gets taken somewhere, gets parked. And then believe it or not, they know when you're about done, and you walk toward the front door when you're done, and your car appears. Now, that's time number one. Time number two, maybe a couple months later, a month later, something like that, I went in to buy another suit, and I walk in, and within seconds, my guy shows up. John shows up. He says, "Hey, Vinny, how's it going? Hey, Mrs. Finelli, how's it going? Good to see you again. Yeah, let me show you what would be great to add to your suit collection, if you will." And he would show us some suits. The tailor would come out, chalk up the suits. He'd show us some ties, and he said, "Now this one will go great with your other suit, and this will go with your other suit, and this is a great addition to your clothing collection." This was back in the 1980s. And what I'm saying is, they didn't have facial recognition technology that I knew of back then that was that fast. I think they just had someone sitting behind a two-way mirror near the front, and the guys who were the salespeople would be in the back room, and they'd say, "John, you're up. Vinny's here. Vinny Finelli's here." And he knew about the dogs, where we lived, all those kinds of things. So they had a little database at this store. Who went to this store? Well, basketball players went there. Guys that were tall and thin. Guys that just didn't fit the normal off the rack sizes, like me. And 5'7", 138 pounds. Was a little more difficult to find a quality suit that would be appropriate for banking at my dimensions. So, John, those were the early days. Those were the early days of this kind of technology. Now we've applied computers to it, and we can be recognized wherever we go, even when we're stopped at a traffic light.
And most people, they don't even have to take the picture because your cell phone identifies you anyway.
Yeah. You're at this location, at this traffic light. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, when the Department of Revenue in Missouri wants to ask me the color of a trailer that I'm registering for tags so I can pull it across the state and even out of the state, they say, "Well, what color is it?" They want to know if it's red or blue or green or white or what. And I always say, it's rust color. It's rusted. They go, "Okay, well, never mind. We just won't put the color down." What do they need to know the color for? What do they need to know the color of my trailer for? That's what they want. They want as much information as they can get. Make, model, serial number, color, number of axles, weight limit, and the tag. Yep. Captain John Regan, when we come back, what are we going to start with?
We're going to see what the FBI can get without a warrant.
Great. Okay, I just can't wait. Jeez. Captain John Regan's with us, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com. Click on the news tab, follow along in class. I'm Vin Finelli. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Hour number 2 of USA Prepares. I got a message about Mike Parsons, USA Prepares instructor. He is in jail still in Tennessee. And as we reported, he's been beaten. He has 3 broken ribs. He's got a puncture above his eye. And according to the report I've received, he now looks like someone from a World War II concentration camp. He's thin, his ribs are showing, he's in pain. And he was beaten by a guy way larger. And the report I got was that the person that beat him was, gets extra privileges for beating up people. Mm-hmm. Yep, extra privileges in jail. So Mike is in bad shape. He was expected to be released out on bond this week. But because he had been beaten, they are now, the report I received is it's now expected that Mike will be charged with fighting and to keep him in jail longer. That's your criminal injustice system at its finest. If you're brighter than those government thugs, they do everything they can to make your life pure hell. Mike Parsons is in jail still in Tennessee. And he hasn't been charged. It's an outrage. It's an outrage. And we look forward to releasing the names of all the criminals involved in the torture of USA Prepares instructor Mike Parsons. Got a message from Ed, who has sent out emails regarding the most wanted poll here at USA Prepares, which devices you are most interested in. And at the time the poll was measured, the number 1 device was colloidal silver, the colloidal silver generator kit. Number 2 was the battery desulfator. Number 3 was the radiation detection kit. Number 4 was the tincture natural remedies kit. And number 5 was the LED lighting strip, the 12-volt lighting strip kit. And so I got to tell you, we are extremely disappointed in the number of people who are interested in these kits. I'm not going to tell you the number, but it's really disappointing, at least to me. And so we're going to make the first kit available. So you have received an email if you expressed interest in the colloidal silver generator kit, and we expect that we should be able to ship them in about a week or so. So you'll receive that email and confirm that you want the kit, and we'll have a way for you to pay for it, and it will be shipped to you. John Regan, back to you.
Now, I was listening to the news at the top of the hour, and it amazes me how ignorant, I guess it shouldn't, but it amazes me how ignorant the reporters are. They were talking about a story where, Trump has said that the judge can't be fair because he has a Hispanic background, and they're saying how racist that is. And in the very same report, they talked about how the judge was a member of the La Raza attorneys of, I think it was at Los Angeles. La Raza means the race. And if you aren't Hispanic, you're not part of it. And that's part of the movement to reclaim southwestern United States. That's from Texas west to California and on up the coast through Washington, and reclaim that for Mexico. And they're not doing it with soldiers and guns. They're doing it by occupation. And they're doing a good job of it. So to me, La Raza is racist, but you don't hear that reported on your mainstream news. And you probably don't hear this reported either, what the FBI obtains without a warrant. And this example is through Yahoo. And you don't even need a judge's permission. All they do is send this letter, and the company has to respond. And the list of information, the subscriber name and related subscriber information, account numbers, date the account was opened or closed, physical or postal addresses, day evening phone numbers, screen names, billing methods, associated email addresses, IP addresses, any URLs, the web addresses, telephone numbers, VoIP numbers, anything of that nature, the names of any and all upstream and downstream providers facilitating the account's communications, your internet service provider, and all that information from inception of the targeted account to present. And we're finding that out now because of a change in the law. It used to be they were under gag orders and couldn't even say that. And I'm sure it's not just the social media. If you have any kind of business dealings with any company and the FBI wants to find out what you've done, all they got to do is send one of these letters. It's great to live in a free country, comrade.
Yeah, and you would think that let's say it's a bank that would receive one of these letters and they wanted to know about your transactions and so forth. You would think that the bank would say, "No, are you kidding? Our customers will be furious. They'll close their accounts." So they are sworn to secrecy when the banks provide this information. And you just look at, if you follow Jericho, you will see how the military is, they're just giving orders to arrest people, throw them in jail, torture them. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Anything else you want me to do? It's amazing. It's amazing how people can be ordered to do something and they'll do it, even though it's morally wrong. Morally wrong. And John, do you think we could get that information about one of our governors, or let's say we wanted to get that information about the warden of the prison that has incarcerated Mike Parsons, or the mayor of the town in which the jail is that Mike Parsons is incarcerated in? Do you think we could get that information, like a voice, VoIP number, cell phone number, bank, even his home address? You think we could get that information? I don't think so.
I think it would
we'd
only
be considered
fair
a terrorist.
since people working for the government are, whether it's elected positions or just your civil service positions, since they're using public funds, I think that everything they do should be surveilled and made public.
Like the cell phone numbers of these Congress critters, these Senate critters, I should say Senate criminals, Congress criminals, House of Representatives criminals in the state or commonwealth where you reside, class. I think anything that we pay for should be made public. Absolutely.
So just in case you think it can't get worse, ID 2020. And you think that John Regan might be going over the top when he does his analysis of technological things. The the title of this article, Microsoft among those pitching blockchain at UN Summit to end identity crisis. This ID 2020 Summit is developing the technological, organizational, and political framework that will ultimately ensure everyone in the world has a trusted digital identity. And of course, they're touting the benefits of stopping, the slave traffic and all of that. But again, like I've said, everything will be blockchained, and the goal is to have everyone in the world with this identity by 2030. And if that doesn't make the hairs in the back of your neck stand up, I don't know what will.
That's just a little over 10 years, John. So the companies involved in this are Google, Facebook, Social Security Database, Microsoft. I'm sure there are others involved in this as well. In terms of the tracking, that would be the cell phone sellouts like Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T, and all of those others. And if you look at the companies who are doing well, class, it's the same story. If they are in the business of selling information to the government, they're probably doing well. If they're a hardworking company that is actually trying to make a product in the United States, they're being bludgeoned into submission, and they're probably not doing well. So it pays to be in bed with the government. And then you can sell them those $700 toilet seats. No questions asked.
And I really love this one quote. In terms of blockchain in particular, we think it is great because of its potential to empower people. I think you should say enslave people.
I was thinking it as you were saying
that. This fits so well with Microsoft's own mission statement.
Yeah. And so when you think of Bill Gates and all these wonderful things he's doing with his money, wouldn't it have been great if he actually came out with a product that worked and said, I'm so sorry you had so many problems with Windows version 1. How about if we give you a free version 2, 3, 4, and so forth? No. He sold defective software and then charged you for the fix. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Here's Dr. Paul Meyer, Christian psychiatrist, author of 85 books and founder of the national chain Meyer Clinics, to tell you about To Your Health liquid vitamins.
I've been taking these every day for over a decade now, and I try to encourage every one of my clients to take them every day. And there's a number of reasons. First of all, it's the best vitamins you can get. It's got dozens of vitamins, antioxidants, and nutrients in it. And then the most important reason why I do it as a psychiatrist and recommend it to my patients is because it's got brain food in it. It's got the essential amino acids. It's got tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine, choline, vitamin B6, and these chemicals that are all natural from food turn into the brain chemicals that make you happy.
To Your Health is delicious. Find out more today. Call us 800-801-3459 or visit online at mytoyourhealth.com. Use the coupon code RADIO15 for a 15% discount on your order. That's mytoyourhealth.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Too much to say. That's been
Hey, John, what do you think of that? Can you think of 4 years of that, and then 8 years of that? That's the candidate who has allegedly the number of delegates to run for president of the United States. Man, I'm really concerned. You know, Larry Nichols said she's going to be president at a time when there was no way anybody believed that she was going to be president. And it looks like the system is so rigged that she may actually get the delegates. Can you imagine how much she must have bribed and paid and threatened people in order to get this far with so much baggage? Her husband can't keep his zipper up. All the stories about the womanizing and the sexual improprieties of her husband and her. Jeez. That's the best we have to offer on the Democrat Party. Man.
Yeah. Apparently the only group that has more dirt on people than her is the current administration and Valerie Jarrett.
You know, when Barry was appointed president, I was absolutely shocked, And now this. Okay, back to the financialstateoftheunion.com, the news tab.
Let's go to the preparedness section, and if you're looking for an upbeat preparedness section, not today.
Okay.
The first step is when antibiotics fail, and you may have seen where antibiotic-resistant bacteria has now reached the borders of the United States, and while we're not in the post-antibiotic era yet, we're quickly going that way. It's going to take some years. But as this progresses, more and more people will be dying of infections that haven't been considered serious for about 7 decades now. And once we get into that world, you wonder what it's going to do to the way our social habits are. You know, we had talked about the engineering of athletes with the DNA, but if there's this drug-resistant bacteria, would you risk your life, or would you risk your kids' lives, going out there on the field and getting an infection? Would you risk a handshake or a hug? Would you use any kind of mass transportation, whether it's planes, trains, buses, or even what's coming with the with the driverless cars, where they're going to make it to where you really can't afford to own a car and you'll just use one on demand? Would you really want to get into one of those cars not knowing what bacteria remains from prior passengers? We've talked about the sex bots before and virtual sex. When sex becomes deadly, how much more is that going to increase? And it kind of just goes on and on. The ramifications of these antibiotics being ineffective, especially given our level of technology, something to consider. And the second article, It's Difficult Now, kind of relates to that. And 8 reasons why it's so hard to find someone decent to marry. And if it's hard now, it's going to be nearly impossible later.
It's really hard now. It really is hard now. We have a couple children in their, let's say, 30 years old, and it's very difficult for them to find a suitable match.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the highest quality body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers rifle thread rated armor up to level 4. And now introducing trauma pads. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water filter for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Imagine your life 5 years from now. Are you on the path you want to be on? It's time to take control of your future by getting a world-class education from one of the nation's top universities. Arizona State University is now offering over 100 top-tier degree programs 100% online. It's the exact same degree our on-campus students receive, but you can learn from anywhere in the country on your own schedule. For information, call 1-800-939-9634. Learn from ASU's world-renowned faculty and use ASU's global recognition to improve your visibility, professional network, and gain real-world experience you can start using today. The Wall Street Journal ranked ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates. Now discover how ASU Online can stand out on your resume and help separate you from the competition. We're ready to help you learn to thrive in your life, in your career, and beyond. To learn more about ASU Online degrees, call 1-800-939-9634. That's 1-800-939-9634.
Fresh liquid whey was so valuable to the improvement of health that in the 1800s, there were 160 spas set up in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria to dispense fresh liquid whey to the sick and aged. The results were restored health and a return of youth. Fresh liquid whey supplies the most easily digested of all proteins and ranks higher in protein value than the egg. Unfortunately, the current methods of processing whey causes proteins to twist, fold, and become denatured. This makes them non-functional in the body. Like a lock and key, proteins do not work in the body unless they retain the shape that nature gave them. We at Synergistic Nutrition believe that our technological enhancements restore the protein structures of our whey to the shapes that nature originally gave them. The results that One World Whey has generated for so many, over several years now, testifies that One World Whey is producing very positive results. For a limited time, one or more of the flavors or sizes of One World Whey are on sale. Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Captain John Regan has brought up the topic about finding that right person, why it's so hard to find someone decent to marry. And you are absolutely right. John, I heard the story of someone I know. I didn't hear the story firsthand, but I heard it secondhand. Someone I know is dating a person, and they've been dating for a while, let's say a couple months, and the person thought that the date was about the same age. No. 10 years older. 10 years older than the original claim that this person said was their age. 10 years older. So let's figure that out. So that'd be like a 20-year-old dating a 30-year-old thinking they're both 20. Or a 30-year-old dating a 40-year-old thinking they're both 30, or a 40-year-old dating a 50-year-old thinking they're both 40. Why do people have to lie? I mean, don't they think it's going to come out? Jeez.
Well, let me cover the 8 reasons listed here. The me-centered society, no shortage of that problem. Right. It's become much more difficult to find someone with good values. And looking at what's going on with the politics this year, and you see the young people out there that are, violent and, anything goes. The third is a lot of young adults are obsessed with money and materialism. Mm-hmm. A lot of young men of marriage age have turned into bums. Mm-hmm. Sexual immorality is absolutely rampant. And I've seen articles where that's even happening inside the church. And, I look back at, the old days and those of us that are in the white-haired years, remember like the Playboys of the 60s and 70s were the porn of the day pretty much. And, you'd get to see boobies, but they airbrushed between the legs there. And it didn't really show any kind of sex act. You were just enjoying the female body. That's not the porn of today. Unfortunately, in my work, I've had to clean porn off computers before. And what is out there now, sometimes I think that maybe I should try to create a presentation and shock some of the churchgoers. And if they realize what's out there, maybe they wouldn't let their kids near the internet. Because, the protection on the internet, when you go to that website, that you have to click a button saying you're at least a certain age. It doesn't require a credit card or anything. And what's available free are full videos of some acts that if I even tried to describe them, I would be thrown off the air. It's perversion beyond what you can imagine. And, like I say, it's all out there free. And, and I'm seeing more and more where kids are partaking not only of that, but doing their own sexual social media, so to speak. We now have number 6, an increasing percentage of our young people don't even want someone of the opposite sex. Number 7, I talked about a little bit. Sexual immorality is running rampant even in the church. Number 8, a large percentage of our young people are not marriage material because they are addicts. Whether it's drugs, alcohol, adult websites. And here it talks about a recent Charisma article. 68% of Christian men watch pornography on a regular basis. So it's
68%, almost 70%, almost 70%. John, when I lived in Virginia, I heard a story about, there was the Bible Belt, praise the Lord, Baptists were everywhere. And I heard a story from a woman who said, you have no idea what goes on. Like the preachers are betting the wives of the men who go to the same church. It's like, let me help you, my child, work through your problems so we can work this out together. The preachers are betting the wives. It's amazing to me that there aren't more dead preachers.
If you ever wondered what it was like living in Sodom and Gomorrah, you're here. Mm-hmm. And there's an article I saw this morning that I found disturbing that I need to follow up on. I'm given the source. I'm sure it's accurate. Becky and I do go to a Southern Baptist church, and the Southern Baptist Convention apparently is now funding the building of mosques in America. Let that sink in for a little bit.
Are they expanding? Are they embracing different brands? I mean, what are we talking about, John?
I guess they've fallen for this Chrislam false religion. Mm-hmm. There's anybody that does any kind of research can, very quickly you come to the conclusion that they are not the same God. So either, both can't be right. So it's either one or the other are right, or both of them are wrong. And, if Islam's right, I'm not sure I want to be right. It's basically, when I look at it, it's the religious-based cousin of communism, which is atheist-based. Other than those trappings, they're pretty much alike.
I really have a problem with the me-centered society that you've been talking about. Egocentric, me first. I deserve to be happy. Those kinds of comments. It's what I want to do. You've ruined my life. I mean, that's what the children are saying, right? You've ruined my life, really, by teaching morals and ethics and values. And when our children were growing up, regardless of age, we had a curfew, 11 o'clock. That's it, because nothing good happens after midnight. And I remember when our daughter was very young, we took her out of the public training camp and homeschooled her. She would say, well, my friends don't have to do that. My friends don't have these rules. And I remember saying to her, I didn't get a manual with you. There's no instruction book that you came with. So I'm figuring it out on the fly here. And I'm not their parent. I'm your parent. So here's how we're going to do it. But I have a feeling that many parents have turned over the raising of their children to other people, nannies, babysitters, and the television, and the school systems, and the extracurricular activities. I think that's who raised the current crop of the me first generation, the people who can't seem to get along without their cell phone, who melt down if their cell phone doesn't seem to be working, or they melt down just thinking about the battery going dead on their cell phone. And so how do you find someone? How do you find that right person that, in one's life to marry? How do you find someone with the same values, the same socioeconomic values? How do you find that husband who isn't going to say, hey, honey, I bought you this new car. I know you're going to love it. Actually, I love it, and I wanted you to have it because I love it. And by the way, don't worry about how we're going to pay for it. It's yours. It's stupid things like that people do. Going into debt. We've lost our minds.
And I was very fortunate just over 25 years ago to find Becky, and it's been great. And I really dread the thought of trying to find a replacement if anything ever happened to her.
You're not the only one that feels that way. Some of our spouses are absolutely not replaceable. Not replaceable. And many people seem to think that they can find a replacement and everything's going to be good. I submit to our class today that replacement isn't going to be anywhere near as good. Actually, it'll probably be worse. And you going to go through any more of these on this list, John? It's unbelievable.
Well, I'm going to try and cover just ducky and climate-affecting crops in the short time we have when we get back.
Yeah, one of the things that has happened is young people have turned into bums. There's no prospect of a job, so they just hang out at home and live with their parents or their grandparents. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from NewHarvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all-natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at NewHarvestFoods.com. That's NewHarvestFoods.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937. Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
DarkCityDefense.com was born in Black Mountain, at the foot of the Black Mountain Range in North Carolina. From the Dark City, as it's affectionately been named, we've built an online firearms pro store that boasts a vast range of firearms, optics, and outdoor supplies. With aggressively low everyday pricing and a free gift pack with every firearms purchase, DarkCityDefense.com is committed to Tier 1 customer service and overcoming darkness by turning on the light of liberty. Find the light in our logo and find out more at DarkCityDefense.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to selectquote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Really, John, it's kind of depressing. You know, you think about the election or the selection, the charade. You think about all the lying, cheating, and stealing that's going on. You think about the pensions being collapsing. You think about working hard and getting a good job and doing a good job, you know, and then retiring. That's gone. Loyalty's gone from the company to us. Credit card companies, you know, aren't loyal. I mean, there's no loyalty. The morals are collapsing. The economy's collapsing. We've got naval or war games going on in Europe. The police are spying on everything we're doing, so is the government. I'm trying to think of some good news. I can't, John.
Hey, how about them Cowboys? It amazes me. The closest thing I've got to good news here is the Just Ducky. And I subscribe to Marjorie Waldcraft's email list. And she recently posted a video, Why Switch from Chickens to Ducks. And this is something that she's done. She's about 6 months to a year into this. And she talks about how ducks are smarter than chickens and less destructive. And geese can be an annoyance. They're very good at protecting property, but and alerting. But she decided to get rid of those and go with ducks. The ducks are smarter. She's actually been able to train them a little bit. They lay eggs. They get in the water and poop, and kind of like geese, and create a nice fertilizer. And so she's, gave a pretty decent update on that. And she's looking at bringing chickens back, but instead of having them totally free range, setting up a paddock so that they're limited to where they can roam. So found it to be a very interesting article, and I'll provide that there for you. And the YouTube video is linked into that article as well. If you want to watch that, it's just a few minutes. And what I found disturbing, though, was the last article there, Climate Affecting Crops. And we know climate's not normal. And if you scroll down below the picture, there's a box how extreme weather is leading to more toxic crops. And the affected crops include a lot of what is produced for food: maize or corn, wheat, barley, soybeans, and others. Basically, what happens is prolonged droughts affect the plant so that the nitrates accumulating in the plant interfere with the ability of our red blood cells and animals' red blood cells to transport oxygen in the body. And of course, if your cells don't get oxygen, that's not a good thing. But then for some drought-stressed crops, exposure to sudden amounts, large amounts of rain can lead to rapid growth and an accumulation of hydrogen cyanide, which is toxic to humans and livestock. So when you get this combination of drought and flood like we're getting, if you do manage to produce crops, they might not be the best thing to eat. Vincent?
You're absolutely right. And we have to actually watch the height of some of the grasses that grow here on the farm because they can kill our cows. Fortunately, they become safer when the moisture dries out of them and they turn from grass after we cut it into hay and we feed it 6 months later. It's a little safer, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And the crops that you're talking about include maize, wheat, barley, soybeans, millet, and sorghum. That's according to this article that's linked on the financialstateoftheunion.com in the news tab under the preparedness section, climate affecting crops. John Regan, you're absolutely right, and it's a mess. So information is key to the survival of all of us and our families. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.